Hi, welcome to Good Night Stories with Miss Magpie. Tonight we're going to read a story I know by heart. Why? Because I've read about 1,000 times Little Red Riding Hood when I was a little girl, and I have a recording of me telling the story by heart. So this story is a fairy tale titled Little Red Riding Hood. A masked fairy tale. Why is it masked? Because this edition, illustrated by Ellie Jenkins, comes with 2 masks that I no longer have. This book comes from the school library. So perhaps one day I can show you how to make those masks at Magpie. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named, Little Red Riding Hood. 3 of her favorite things were 1. Long walks in the forest. 2. Visiting her grandma who lived in the forest. And 3. Carrying baskets jam-packed with tasty goodies. On this day, Little Red Riding Hood was doing all of her favorite things at once. And you can tell, I'm reading this story. Why am I not telling you this one? Because it's written with some extra words and punctuation. Let's see. I do not know that version. Little Red Riding Hood was a clever and kind girl, but she had a dreadful singing voice. Tra-la-la-la-la, I'm off to see my poor sick grandma. La-la-la-la. Dreadful, I told you. Little Red Riding Hood sang as she skipped. A wolf stepped out from behind a tree. Oh, what a lovely singing voice, he lied, licking his lips greedily. Oh, that lip-licking liar. Well, do you need help carrying that basket full of delicious-looking goodies? Little Red Riding Hood narrowed her eyes. If there was one thing she knew, it was never trust a hungry wolf. Ever! Written with an exclamation mark and really, really fat font, so must be important. I don't need any help, thank you, she politely told the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood waved goodbye and continued on her way. Tra-la-la-la-la. Dreadful. The wolf's tummy rumbled and grumbled. He thought about all the delicious food he wanted to eat. 15 sausages, 8 pancakes, 5 ice cream cones, 1 big bag of potato chips, 2 birthday cakes, 6 chocolate bars. The list keeps coming. 3 tubs of popcorn, half a hot dog, 1 grandma and 1 girl in a Little Red Riding Hood. Wait a minute! People aren't food. Unless you're a hungry wolf. Is he a carnivorous? Does he eat meat? The wolf knew everything about the forest, and he also knew a shortcut to Grandma's house. When he reached the door, he shouted, "Watch out, Little Red Riding Hood's grandma! I'm going to gobble you all up." With this warning, Grandma leaped out the window and hid in the bushes. "Rats!" the wolf said when he found Grandma was empty. Grandpa's house, Grandma's house was empty. So he put on Grandma's clothes and hid in her bed. The wolf was going to trick Little Red Riding Hood when she arrived. Oh, look at that. Little Red Riding Hood arrived at Grandma's house, but Grandma did not seem like herself. "What big eyes you have!" gasped Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better for seeing you," replied the wolf in a silly voice. "What big ears you have!" gasped Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better for hearing you," replied the wolf in a silly voice. "And what big teeth you have!" gasped Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better for eating you," bellowed the wolf as he leaped out of bed. Luckily, Little Red Riding Hood knew gymnastics. She flipped out of the window and hid in the bushes. There she found Grandma. Now you know why I couldn't tell you my story, huh? Soon, a cheerful lumberjack wandered past the bushes. Psst, hissed Grandma. Can you help us scare away a hungry wolf who's hiding in my bed and wearing my clothes? Sure, said the cheerful lumberjack. I do that sort of thing all the time. The cheerful lumberjack crept up to the house and peered in the window. Sure enough, the wolf was sound asleep in, Grandma's bed. You're right. Oh, the little wolfie looks so cute, said Little Red Riding Hood, peeping. Would you believe it? What a silly sausage. Cute, replied Grandma. The little wolfie wants to eat us. Well, she's got her senses. Little Red Riding Hood, Grandma, and cheerful lumberjack agreed that there was only one way to get rid of a hungry wolf. What do you think that is? One way. Let's see if you are right. So they crept into the house, tiptoed into the bedroom while the wolf was sleeping, and shouted, "Boo!" The hungry wolf squealed and ran as fast as he could deep into the forest. Poor Grandma climbed back into bed. She was feeling sick, remember? Together, Little Red Riding Hood, the cheerful lumberjack, and Grandma enjoyed a small picnic on Grandma's bed. Little Red Riding Hood was so happy. She started to sing. I'm really just reading the big fonts because that must be super important if they are written in big font. Picnic, 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 tra-la-la, la-la-la-la. Grandma and the cheerful lumberjack politely stuffed bread rolls into their ears, and hungry wolf never came back. Ever. The end. Good night. Sleep tight. I'm gonna sleep with a big bad wolf tonight. I hope you don't hear Little Red Riding Hood singing you lullabies in your dreams. Good night.